Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode we're going to look at this bad boy, the Marelux SOFT Snoot. This is a new snoot released from a relatively new brand who are taking the underwater housing market by storm, from what I can see, challenging some of the market leaders like Nauticam and others. It's a great piece of engineering, perfect for macro photographers or close focus wide angle photographers to help give you more directional light. Let's have a closer look after the bumper. Okay, so I've been using the Marelux SOFT Snoot for 6 to 8 weeks now. I'm not predominantly a macro photographer. I tend to shoot more wide angle personally, but this has got me shooting a lot more macro. What I love is the design. It's really solid. Everything about it is solid. It has a built-in aperture ring. None of the other snoots I've ever used have had this feature. This is a game changer in itself, allowing you to change the beam of light from narrow to wide from the outside without having to use additional filters and extra parts you can lose very easily underwater. So they've thought about this and built it into the design of the actual snoot. What they also have, which is not seen on many other snoots for me, is a focus light that actually hits the target, i.e. when you point this at your macro subject, turn the light on, it actually lights up the subject correctly. Some of the other snoots I've used in the past, the light goes past the subject or it's not parallel, so it's basically useless. It actually makes it worse because you're aiming for the light and your actual light when it fires is not focused on the subject. With the Marelux it's lined up perfectly, which makes it super easy for macro. Now to attach this to your flash, you have a bracket which goes straight onto different brands. This is for the Inon Z330. These just fit on nice and smoothly like so. Screw on, nice and secure. Once the mount is on, the soft snoot itself just clips into place like so and just locks. One click, that's it, locked. I can now attach this snoot to my housing if I need when I'm moving around underwater. Now it looks bulky and big and heavy, but actually underwater it's not really displacing any extra weight for me personally. I use my normal setup, I add this, it's no problem. Now when you talk about using this underwater, I would say personally the best way to use these is with an assistant. Teach them the optimum focus distance, they focus the light correctly, they hold it in position, and then you with the camera concentrate on composing the image and getting the shot. Once it's on there, it's super solid. It just gets released with one clip. Off it comes. Great design. It's very solid. This has been underwater 20-30 times. I have no issues with the design. It's working perfectly. They also have the extra little flotation device on here that helps the buoyancy in the water. But as I said, once you're underwater, this is not really that heavy. The optimum focal distance, I think, is about 20 centimeters or so. You can see you get a very distinct beam of light. The edges are sharp. When you go too far away, the edges become soft. When you get too close, they become soft. So when they're at the optimum distance, as you move it around, the light will become, the edges of the circle of light will become very sharp. This is your optimal working distance, and then you simply adjust the aperture to the size desired, whether you want to light up the eyes or the head or whatever part of the sea animal that you're shooting you want to light up, and use it like that. Very, very easy. Would I recommend it? 100% I recommend it. It's a no-brainer. If you're into macro photography, this is, for me, I would say, an essential item. Now, inside the light, you just have a standard battery, which usually is the similar or same batteries that we use in our underwater torches. So I've got loads of those lying around, good to go, and they will easily last several dives. I just turn the light off in between shoots. Here we are back at Aquaventure Reef Club in Anilau, and we're just going to go over our last final thoughts on the Marelux Soft Snoot. A few people I've spoke to said, oh, it's kind of heavy, but once you're underwater it's attached. It's like all the other gear, as long as you've got your buoyancy correct on your camera, it's no issue. I add a small extra float to my camera which compensates for this, so my whole camera rig including this is pretty much neutral underwater. I actually prefer it when I take it off that it's not floaty, that's the word, because I want whoever's holding it, whether it's me or somebody else, that it has a bit of weight to it so that they can easily maneuver it without having to worry about floating away, all right, or just not being able to control it easier. So other than that, I think it's perfect. Retail price, I'll stick them up here on the screen. I think it's $3.99, and I think $3.99 US dollars, that is, and I think the prices for the docks for the different flashes range from 99 up to 200 US. I think this one specifically for my Inon Z330s is around $149. So of course you need that accessories, or you need those accessories to attach to your flash. So you have to check on the website, links below, to find out which matches yours. These are super solid, and I've also noticed now on some of Marelux's advertising on Instagram and Facebook that they're starting to make new tools, like small different colored gels that screw in to this mount. So in theory you could probably leave this attached to your flash full time and then add their gels, diffusers, whatever else they come up with to fit on there. So it's like multi-purpose. So really solid piece of kit, highly recommended. And from what I've seen, from what the stuff Marelux is producing at the moment, their stuff's just getting better and better and better. And people like Nauticam and all the other top of the line housings, they've got some real competition on their hands. This stuff is not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it's really high quality. Love to hear your thoughts.